watching the Celtics beat the Cavaliers, this series and other series I'm watching, I say to myself, you know what? The NBA really has a playoff problem. They have a playoff problem in that too many series end like this. When a sport needs to be at its best, right? This is when everybody is watching the NBA playoffs. They have everything to themselves. No NFL games are going on. We've seen baseball start. Here's the NBA playoffs with the great stars that are out there. And too many series end like this. They end in blowouts, and they end with star players not playing. And I understand you can't control the game, and you can't control when guys are hurt, mainly, although sometimes I look and I go, really? Donovan Mitchell couldn't play in either. He finishes the last game. He scores 35. He can't play in this game. Too many NBA series end this way. And it's the reason why there's so much attention on the Knicks and the Pacers. See, I said no Knicks, but here's that. But the Knicks and the Pacers, for all going on, how much fun is this series? Because I know both these teams are trying to beat the brains out of the other one. As much as I make fun of Rick Carlisle and his whining and crying about star, I know he wants to win. I know how bad he wants to beat the Knicks and get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I know how bad Jalen Brunson wants to win, how bad Dante DiVincenzo wants to win. I know how bad that guys like TJ McConnell want to win. I know this. But you look around the NBA and there's so many playoffs that just kind of end with whimpers. Every other game is a blowout. And when you see star players that just sit, that you realize there's a playoff problem. The numbers aren't going up. They're kind of been stagnant, which has been an overall trend in the NBA. Because you can look at some numbers and say, okay, well, more people are watching here, but less people are watching here. But overall, the NBA has a product issue. I mean, it's why the NFL has come for Christmas Day. Hey, NFL was never going to play on Christmas Day because, look, NBA owned it. Everybody's watching. Now, look, the NFL saw last year, hey, we get twice as many people watching our games as watching your games. So guess what? We're going to have games on Christmas Day every year. And we got 2 games on Netflix now. They bid $75 million for it. The NFL has said, yeah, you know what? The NBA, not as big a threat. But when you get to the playoffs, this is the sport where the sport needs to be at the highest level it can be. And while it's great watching Nikola Jokic play, well, it's really something, and watching the Timberwolves play, when every game is a blowout, and at the end I see the Timberwolves say, oh, we're laughing. What can we say? Jokic is the MVP. You know what I want to see after that? I want to see, hey, man, we can't let him do that. We cannot let him just run free and roam free. We got to find a way, because this is the bleeping NBA playoffs. We were up 2-0, and now he's controlling this series. And instead you get Anthony Edwards saying, yeah, hey, what can I do? I got to give him his flowers. He's the MVP. That's not what I want to hear at all if I'm a fan. And this is part of what happens, why the NBA playoff product is not what it should be. And it's not as simple as, well, there should be less games so players wind up playing more and guys don't sit out in the playoffs. It's just an overall playoff problem that the sport is not at the level it should be when it's on its highest stage. It should be where everybody is doing everything they can to either stay in games, play in games, win games. And Knicks Pacers used to be how every series was. Every series was blood on the floor and hair on the walls, and if you escape, you're like the final girl at the end of a horror movie. Your arm is half hacked off, and your leg is bleeding, and there's blood all in your eyes, and you don't know what's going on, and your boyfriend is dead because he tried to save you, and he got a stake through the heart, and then he got his arm chopped off, and then he got his head just sliced open, all these things. This is how you need to come out of playoffs. This is what got everybody so involved in the NBA and why we love the playoffs so much. And it doesn't need to be physical. It just needs to be a good product. And the playoffs right now are not a great product. Think about this, the playoff rounds we've had so far. How many can you look back and say, wow, that was something, right? Knicks Sixers was something, right? Because you had calls, you had Embiid, and he was injured, and he was mad, and the Sixers were mad about calls, and Tyrese Maxey has taken every bleeping shot he can, and he's scoring 45 points and hitting threes from 35 feet out because he's desperate. Look, there's only a couple of series, and it's only coincidence I'm saying the Knicks for both of them, but there's only a couple of series where you go, wow, that really was fun. Like, looking at this series right now with the Celtics and the Cavaliers, can you say that was fun? As close as Denver and Minnesota seems, is it really fun? Is it really close? Especially after last night when it feels like Minnesota just said, hey, we're done. Yeah, Jokic is the MVP. What are we going to do? It's not much we can do.
Well, that's it. Edwards got everybody's praise earlier in the round, right? Talking about, it's my fault, energy, taking responsibility for not rising to the challenge in that game 3. And then last night I was kind of like, he was in his bag. We're kind of cooked. We're young and inexperienced, and we can't possibly match that. Never mind the Defensive Player of the Year and all the other flowers that people have been throwing at you the whole time. It goes back to what we've talked about a lot towards the end of the regular season, where every game you're praying that you don't add another name to your injury report, or that it's short-lived, and that you can chalk it up to load management, right? Versus we get into the playoffs, and we've chronicled it every step of the way. This guy's hurt, that guy's hurt. The Donovan Mitchell thing is confusing as hell. Right, as you said, he scores 35. He looks, they come up huge, and then no, he's done. So tonight they made you sweat, and once again they got their backers. They lose by 15. If you bet it late, the spread had gone out to 15.5. So if you waited, because you had a much better line this morning before everybody got ruled out, but you just go on and down the line. There's no incentive for you to play if you're getting cooked early in a series or even midway through, right? All right, we're down 30. The hell with it. Bench it. Save it for next time. You understand it from a strategical standpoint, but from a viewing experience and compelling television, again, unless you've bet it, you ain't watching it. And I guarantee you 90% of the people that bet it, they don't watch it anyway. They just wait for the final score to pass on their phone while they're out pushing their kid on the swing, or ripping one on the 16th green. That's it. That's where we're at in this. So it's tough, right? You're hoping for compelling product, but injuries and just the length of things, live for another day is very tough.
And here's the thing, is that the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon, like the reason the NBA is in this issue, it's not as simple as, the stars are sitting out games. Or it goes further than that, because no sport of all the major sports has outgrown its rules and norms more than the NBA has. Right, the NBA. What we've seen in Major League Baseball, you can watch a Major League Baseball game from like 1910, and it still kind of looks the same here. That does in 2024. You would recognize it a little bit, right? But overall, the
except
changes
for some obvious differences. But we'll go.
But you would recognize a Major League game. And look, what happens? What Major League Baseball does? Okay, what do we need to do? We realize putting more teams in the playoffs and keeping things going. That's what's going to help. All right, but Major League Baseball hasn't really changed that much. NFL. Yes, does it change? Yes, but everybody's getting richer. Players are getting more money. It's happening. Yes, they're adding a game. They've added the 17th game. But by and large, the NFL has not outgrown itself. Whereas the NBA, with the players, and it's part of the players getting bigger and stronger and playing more basketball when they're younger and coming into the league and being asked to play some kind of crazy schedule, you are seeing them, the overall level of strength and speed has outgrown an 82-game schedule with back-to-backs and tournaments in the middle of the season and everything they have going on right now. The NBA needs some changes where they need a real forward-thinking visionary who can say, all right, these are the issues that are affecting the NBA right now. Our ratings are at a stagnancy, and players are missing games. Maybe we're playing too much. Whatever it is, there needs to be like a full body review to say we got to change stuff, because how much longer can you sit here and go by this and say, yeah, NBA ratings will be the same? If you're not going up, or you're not finding a way to get up and reach more people and have your product growing, you're dying. And you're going backwards, and this is why the NFL has taken over on Christmas Day, and they'll take over more days too. But for right now, you focus on the situation now. The NBA, they have a playoff problem with making some kind of product out there that people can't wait to see every single night, and it's compelling and it's incredible, and even if it's a blowout, it's something you really want to talk about the next day.